Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin Morning Program on KSJE.
8:47 Wednesday morning. We have an extra segment for you this morning because we want to introduce you to the new San Juan Regional Medical Center nursing executive. It's official as of this week. Alan Vierling is here with me this morning. Mr. Vierling, welcome to KSJE and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
You were interim at the beginning of the week and now you're no longer interim. You're the guy.
I was. Things move fast around here.
They do.
It's good.
They do. You were telling me that you've been at San Juan Regional for about 5 weeks now?
That's right.
Okay. And so here you are. And what does a chief nursing executive do? Give me the rundown on your job.
My first goal every day is make sure that the people who take care of patients have everything they need to be wildly successful and help the patient have a phenomenal experience. So we look at, structure and process and staffing and all those things and just make sure that everybody is well able to take care of our patients.
There you go. Nursing so important for the healthcare industry. We hear about shortages and things like that. I know we have a nursing program here at San Juan College, of course, an important partnership with the San Juan Regional Medical Center, and just expanded, I think, the number of students in that program to meet the demand. And so it's a high demand field.
There are probably 900,000 nursing jobs open across the country. And Right now.
Yeah.
And there are 90 open at San Juan. And so we backfill with other people. Obviously we keep our staffing full.
Right.
But nursing is an incredible profession. And we've had this shortage for, I've been a nurse 35 years. So since 1985, we've been in this real challenge of not enough nursing students. And so the school opening up that additional set of spaces, I think they doubled their size.
Yeah.
That's an incredible thing. It's a real commitment to the community. It's a real commitment to the college. Has got a great commitment to the hospital. The hospital is committed to the college. So in many respects, that was great thinking on everybody's part, and it's just a fabulous thing. I met with them the other day. There are great people in this program. There are great people leading the program. I mean, I think the community is blessed for a place this size to have this quality is really unusual.
Well, and the partnerships that make it possible, I think, too. That's also important, I know. Right. And the idea then for these students, I guess, it's pretty much a guaranteed job offer, is it not? You can almost write your own ticket, can't you, with the credentials for being from the nursing program?
Oh, we're not going to turn anybody down.
Right.
But I think they're capable of, going around the world to work.
Sure.
The facilities here are as good or better than any I've seen in my career. I was faculty at Michigan State University, and I was faculty at Radford University in the schools of nursing. What I've seen in both of those places, this is comparable. They have some extraordinary ability here.
Well, that's good news for our students and for the community, as you say.
Right.
So that's great. You were telling me, too, you've been traveling around a little bit. You were based in Ohio, but you spent some time in Alaska not too long ago.
I did. I was the president and chief executive of the Alaska Native Medical Center in Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay.
I had level 2 trauma center and a 400 physician clinic, 5 hotels, a travel office, an insurance product, and 800 field clinics around the state of Alaska. So I covered all 566,000 square miles.
Wow. That's a lot. And of course, excuse me, Alaska is a real different type of area, right? I mean, a lot of far-flung places, similar to New Mexico, but I think a lot of even farther-flung places too, right?
Well, so there's about 97% of the state is, and 93% of the state is undeveloped. So you get there by plane, you get there by boat, you get there by snow machine. I haven't seen any snow machines yet in Farmington. That's a big win. But it's very similar in other respects too, because you have a central hub like Farmington Anchorage, that really pulls patients in from such a huge geographic area. Then, of course, since my patient population was about 98% Alaska Native, the American Indian population is something I'm very familiar with, we're very familiar with. And so I think the similarities are more closely aligned than the differences.
Sure.
The weather is probably the biggest difference, but beyond that, things are really similar.
Right. You've got that major medical installation, and again, dealing with that more of a rural population and also somewhat of a small urban population, too.
That's right. And so we have air care, as you know, which is one of the better air services in the region. It's one of the busiest in the entire country because of the 300 days of blue sky. Well, in
Flying
Alaska,
all the time.
they go all the time. And so in Alaska, we get so many patients by plane, more than 50%. So it's the same thing about you go out and you get your patients and you bring them back. And so it really feels very comfortable to me here, which I think is one of the reasons why, I was thinking about, do I stay? Do I take this role? Is this the right time in my life to do this? And there are so many things that felt comfortable. And quite frankly, when I was on the floor, so I work bedside with the nurses. I don't lead from the office. I try and lead from out front and be engaged. And so as I spent time on the surgery unit, and I spent time in the emergency department, and I spent time in the medical department and on cardiology, I kept seeing great patient care, and I kept hearing from patients how good care was. So, you get that opportunity to be comfortable in a beautiful city, in a beautiful place like the Four Corners, and then you work with great nurses, and then somebody says, hey, do you want to stay? You're sort of having a short list of the reasons you don't, right? And so it's like, yeah, this is really an extraordinary opportunity. So,
and from your point of view, do you try to, in your job now as chief nursing executive, do you try to lead by example, I guess, by doing some of these bedside things and walking the walk and talking the talk and not just talking from your office?
I will never be as good a clinician as the nurses I worked with in the past 5 weeks. Right? I mean, back when I was a baby nurse back in the 80s and 90s, maybe I was that good. Today, I watch a lot and I teach where I can, but I recognize that their skill set is extraordinary. And yes, so I'm not gonna lead by example in terms of being the best clinician in the world. They are, but I will teach them how to lead. I will teach them how to really see extraordinary. And that's how we try and do things. So yes, it's by example. I was in the operating room this morning at 7 o'clock. Having a conversation with that staff. I was there late last night. And so you be out there and you get to know what they do and you understand their roles, what their hurdles are, and how you can make those better. Again, my job is to make them successful so that the patients have an extraordinary experience.
Right, got it. And if you've got a rock star nurse on your staff, is there a way to maybe hold them up to the others on the staff too, to kind of hold them up as an example, I guess, and to celebrate the good things that they are doing?
Well, this morning in the operating room was Ron, one of the surgical technicians, who was just killing it all day yesterday, and we were talking about him. And and I had the opportunity to work with Bev in the emergency department for about 15 hours, and she's a young nurse, but one of the finest people I've ever met, and great nursing skills. And so I do think we want to take them out and do some, have them out front of the organization. We also do things like the DAISY program,
right,
where we recognize nurses who perform at an extraordinary level over a longer period of time. And so there's a lot of ways we do that. And San Juan has a number of rock stars. I just keep meeting nurses that I go, oh man, I got some serious talent. There's Brian and Audrey and Carissa up in the intensive care unit. Narissa, who's one of the vascular access nurses. I spent time with her, and I'm not kidding. She found veins, I swear, that I would have never seen, and painlessly, right? And so,
as a patient, we appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean, so you got so many people there with so much skill, and obviously I'm positive about it because that's really the only way to lead. Right? You need to really appreciate the talent of your people, and then how do you help spread that to everybody else?
Got it. With this new job that you now have here at Salem Regional Medical Center, you are part of the, I think, part of the administration kind of at the hospital and working with the other departments and things like that. So how has that been going, I guess, in your 5 weeks here?
It's good. I've had the opportunity I've done this for a long time. So, 35 years as a nurse, 25 as an executive. I've been a chief nurse 3 times and a hospital president 3 times, and I've done a lot in my career, so I'm very comfortable with the people there. You've got some great leaders. Jason Rounds is one of the kindest people that I've ever worked with as a CEO, and he's got a great vision for the organization. And so there are really good, talented people leading, and I think that that's extremely helpful to the community. It's when you get to small communities, sometimes you don't always see the breadth of experience that you can get with this team. This team has got a lot of experience, and I think they're pretty comfortable leading, and I'm very happy with it. Again, if my peer group isn't somebody that I enjoy working with, well, then I wouldn't stay.
Sure.
But I like my peer group.
There you go.
I think there's a lot of talent there.
Very good. We've always said and heard that healthcare can be an economic driver in certain communities. I think in a place like this, that is certainly the case. Again, as you mentioned, San Juan Regional pulling in patients from a broader region and things like that, and being able to maybe offer services that aren't offered in other local hospitals in the region, and being that kind of center for specific types of healthcare and things like that. Is that something that you look forward, I guess, working with and developing maybe with the other team members at the hospital, and some of the things that they do, cardiology, I think, being one of them, but I think there's more too.
Well, Scott, I think you ask a great question. I mean, that is a great question, because the economic impact that the hospital has is hundreds of millions of dollars in the community. And each dollar that the hospital produces in most environments turns over 4 more times in the community, and it supports other jobs. And so if you look at the nursing jobs in particular, those are in some cases 6 figures. We have nurses making over $100,000. And so what a nurse with that kind of an income in this environment can generate in the community is really significant. And there are 1,500 jobs that are steady with great benefits. And so that money goes into the community. And then, of course, like you said, as we bring in people from the outside, that means money to the food and hospitality industry.
Right.
It means money for the car dealers. It means money for, the retailers in town. So the hospital as an economic generator is an essential part of what we do. Now, where do you grow? Certainly cardiology's got great opportunity to grow. We think obstetrics has a great opportunity to grow. We think our gastrointestinal medicine, our GI docs, we think that's another hot spot for us. We know that neurology and neurosurgery both can grow. And so we see growth as a primary thing, and something over the course of the next year in particular. We know we need to grow surgical services. So our operating rooms can be busier. We've got great equipment. We've got the most up-to-date things. We're looking at a second robot. And again, you're talking about things in Farmington, New Mexico that are world-class. I don't like the term world-class, but when you look at the technology, this is cutting edge that our doctors are providing, and renovating cath labs and interventional radiology. So there's a lot of growth going on right now. It's one of Jason's strong points as a strategic leader. He's got that figured out, and the board's supportive. And so I think moving that direction to grow is really important. And, you never get successful by cutting. That's not the way to be successful. You have to grow your services, and I would prefer if we got thought of in the same terms as Albuquerque and Flagstaff and Phoenix. We need to be comparing ourselves to much larger organizations and leading New Mexico in many cases, and that's my goal long term. Within the next 3 years, I anticipate that Farmington, New Mexico will lead nursing in the state of New Mexico. There's no reason that we are not considered the best place in New Mexico to be a nurse and the best place in New Mexico to get nursing care. That should be what we think about every day.
And that's your goal?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good. And again, just a couple of minutes remaining this morning, Mr. Vierling, but as you get up to speed, even more so, I think, after your 5 weeks here in New Mexico and part of the job, immediate goals then, as you were mentioning, I mean, what's short term, I guess? What do you want to hit the ground doing?
Absolutely. So short term is to really begin to stabilize the nursing force, grow the nursing force in a way that's meaningful, that's sustainable long term. And then we've got what we call our big, hairy, audacious goals. And so we have the BHAGs, and they're out there in each department. So we need to be recognized nationally for some of the quality care. This intensive care unit is one of the best I've ever worked with in 35 years. So they're going to make an attempt in the next year to go after a Beacon Award and get recognized as one of the best ICUs in the nation. and they're capable. And so that's the kind of thing we're working on right now. But first, it's stabilizing, getting to know everybody, and understanding where we have opportunity to grow and be successful.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Alan Vierling, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
Good luck to
Thrilled.
you. New
Thank you.
Salmon Regional Medical Center Chief Nursing Executive, my guest this morning here on KSJE.
Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.